cool. First of all, it's amazing how many fans Taller Cranston has. Like, there's people at every performance who knew him. Like, the number of people whose lives touched his and who were touched by him and his work is pretty amazing, right? It's really about the heroism and the screwed upness of what it was like when you had to lie about yourself all the time, or you chose joy. I mean, there are people like Quentin and Chris who didn't lie, but they were few and far between. So, and they didn't get very successful. So, I mean, if someone wanted to be successful as an artist the way Taller was, it was best to say, I'm an artist, not I'm a homosexual, which would have been the word at the time. So it's a little bit about his pretensions, which are kind of very funny, but it's also about the kind of, not so much the tragedy, but the difficulties that he had negotiating all of that. And so it's hard to describe, but you kind of love him and you also not hate him, but you can see that he was a little bit of a hypocrite. So it's fun to watch that, I think. And David Tomlinson is just brilliant in the role. He just sort of lives Taller.
I obviously have big respect for him, and I understand a little bit, I think, of why he behaved the way he did. He wasn't a saint, but he wasn't a villain. You know what I mean?
Why do you think he behaved that way?
To protect himself. Like, I felt like he kept everyone at a distance.
Well, I mean, I think what's interesting to me, well, for instance, he has a line in the play that gets the biggest laugh of the evening, especially the old ladies, where he says, or it's just the older women who attend the show, is when he says, the love that dare not speak its name has become the love that won't shut up. And he basically complains about homosexuals, and which was something that he did. I mean, I haven't read them yet, but somebody indicated to me that he was interviewed after AIDS, not after AIDS, but when AIDS happened, and that he was very much, very offensive to gay men in the sense that he talked about it as someone else, and he was very much like, this isn't about me, because he didn't really come out. So anyway, that moment when he says, the couple of moments in the play when he disavows his homosexuality, I find really, really interesting. Because I think we find that hypocrisy still among gay men, like there's no fats, no femmes, so when you go online. So there's this whole thing about effeminacy. And I think that a lot of gay men, they don't want to marry a drag queen, they want to marry straight acting guys. So he appears in his pants down at one point, and that is very controversial for the audience. I think they really want to see Taller. Some of the audience is fascinated by it, to see the kind of other side of Taller, but some of the audience literally gets into arguments with me, like they want to see just the performer, and they don't want to see the tortured soul behind it. And as I would say it's like, when I think of Taller, I always think of Sammy Davis Jr. I saw this image of Sammy Davis Jr. as a child dancing, and it was like he was literally like 5 years old, and it to me it's such a terrifying image, because he's like going away, he's tap dancing, and this man had to be 100 times more talented than any white person, and imagine what that was like. And I think that it's very similar to Taller. Like, he, as an effeminate gay man, had to as someone who's visible, highly visible, had to be 100 times more talented than anybody else, and still he was criticized and it was suggested he wasn't an athlete, he was just an artist, but he was both, actually. And I think it's a unique chance to see a real faggot, like a real effeminate gay male sitting down chatting with you, like directly, having a chat and not being the least bit, not curbing his mannerisms or curbing his flamingness or curbing his artiness, but just being